And while you explain the story,
I got to explain that I do like the game of Randy Arozarena. I like how he plays. I think he's great. I like his fire. I don't like this move. Then again, no one told him to beat it. A.J. Przinsky and John Papelbon were talking about this. I respect him because, well, guess what? Whether you like A.J., he was a polarizing player. Both guys polarizing players. A.J. Przinsky played in the bigs for 19 years, okay? John Papelbon played for, I think, 12. Neither of them have ever seen anything like that. And Papelbon, both guys said if they saw an opposing player come into their clubhouse while they're chilling, that's their sort of sacred territory. That's their, what's the word I'm thinking of? That's their
Dojo Casa house?
That's
sanctuary.
That's a sanctuary. Thank you. You were close, Rich. Dojo Casa house. Their sanctuary was the word I was looking for, though. You see the opposing. Can you imagine how it would have been received if a Yankee walked in on Papelbon while he was there playing video games, chilling in the clubhouse with his buddies? They would have said, beat it. Terry Francona would have said, beat it.
Okay.
And that's really the culture and how it is. You don't just barge into someone's clubhouse. Arozarena went from his Seattle clubhouse into the Tampa Bay's clubhouse, into the Rays clubhouse, just to be like, yo, what's up, Kevin Cash? Yo, what's up, my old teammates? Yo, what's up? I'm hanging out. He's no longer on the team, dude. That's not how it works. It's not a good look for his new teammates. It's not a good look for Kevin Cash because Kevin Cash should be like, hey, dude, I love you, Randy, but you're not on this team anymore. Beat it.
Now get the hell out of my house.
Exactly. Get out of my, what'd you call it?
Casa Dojo house. Dojo Casa house.
Get out of my Dojo Casa house. That's not how it works. Now, we've accepted that opposing teams have friends on each team. We get that. We've accepted it. But now to be going in and out of the opposing team's locker room and clubhouse, that's just a little much. And a little invasive, in my opinion. I feel like you're being intrusive. It's like when you FaceTime me, Rich, and I'm on the ball. It's like, beat it. This is my private time.
I want you to keep something in mind, though. I want you to keep something very much in mind. It's not the 80s or 90s. It's the 2020s. Culture has changed in all these sports as far as the players.
You're proving that.
I'm saying I feel like the players look at it more so like we're part of the fraternity of the National Football League more than a team. We're Major League Baseball players
but
than.
As a fan, when you despise these people, do you want to know that the guys you're rooting for are pals with them? That rubs fans the wrong way, let alone your teammates.
I agree, but there's one exception and caveat, one rub that I do think is an exception, and I think Arozarena falls in this category, which is lifer on the team for the most part, traded midseason, first time back at that stadium. He played with those guys since COVID. Since 2020, he was on the Rays.
I get it. And that he's not the first guy, Rich, to say arrivederci to his teammates. He's not the first guy ever to be put in this situation. The culture, the way it works, and the way it's always been, and there's no problem with it, is you say what's up to your former manager and your buddies on the field at the cage.
Yeah,
no one would have anything to say about that.
I do think it's slightly line-stepping, but think about it in any business, not just the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA. Think of someone that worked at your company for a while. There is a weird feeling when they do come back to visit because it's like, well, do they need security to walk them around? No, but they're not an employee anymore. So, like Jay Moore, who worked here back in the day. Give me another random person that worked here back in the day.
Steve Harvey.
Like a Jim Rome or something. Steve Harvey.
He worked in the building.
He
worked in his building.
Now, if they came in and wanted to visit, my old stomping grounds.
How about Ramos?
That's a great example.
Ramos is welcome back anytime.
Ramos.
Yeah.
Ramos. Hey, guys.
Until Big Mike tackles him like, intruder.
Hey, speaking of Big Mike, he made a good point, and it backs up what you're saying, Rich. Big Mike says this only continues to prove that we live in a culture of players, no longer team, meaning he's just a player in the big leagues. He's not necessarily a Seattle Mariner. He's Randy Arozarena, and that's just the world we live in. It's not about my loyalty to any team anymore because they're all pals and they're all in this fraternity. But I'm telling you, it's not a good look for the fans. And I got one more point, and Danny G, I want to hear what you have to say. But before I forget, I'm here to say I think everybody's wrong. I think both sides to this story are wrong. Kevin Cash, as the leader of the Tampa Bay Rays, should have been like, yeah, sorry, man, you're not allowed here in our clubhouse.
Yo, we were boys for the last 5 years.
Yeah,
get out.
I get it. But it's not a good look for his new team. You're letting a Seattle Mariner in the clubhouse? He's not on the team anymore. So I think the Rays are in the wrong, and I think the Mariners are in the wrong for allowing this to even happen. Randy Arozarena, I think, is overstepping here. He seems to be a habitual line stepper, and it would rub me the wrong way as a fan.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you brought up Jay Moore. I think the more appropriate example would be Stephen A. Smith. He used to work on our network. He did the shift that two pros and a cup of Joe do right now. Okay, and he didn't last long because he couldn't handle the hours. But now he's at ESPN, obviously. Imagine him coming and being all chummy when Fox Sports Radio, with all due respect, is kicking ESPN's butt in the radio world.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Radio Row, right? Here's a great example.
It'd be a little like, what was he doing here?
Right. So when we go to the Super Bowl, which is always a great time, everyone in the media, TV, radio, everyone's there. When you see old coworkers that we worked with on, let's say, the ESPN set, you've went over, gave them some hugs, and did everything on their set.
Respectfully. Prove it. I have?
You've gone to the Sirius XM set.
I still work there, you bonehead.
Part-time.
I still work there. I get a check every 2 weeks. Get part-time. Get out of here. What's the difference? I work there. I still work there.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah, those teams.
I just hosted a big event there. What are you going to do? Tell me to leave?
Rich, the baseball teams are going head-to-head, so I think the better example is straight-up competition.
That's your competition. Yeah. I get it. It's sports, but when you got fans and they're angry about these things, and their hearts are on the line rooting for these players, I wouldn't want to hear that my guy that I'm rooting for is in the other locker room, in the other clubhouse. And again, the way they describe it, here's something you need to keep in mind. Former players are saying they've never seen that before, so it's not like a common thing. They've never seen it. And they describe it as their sanctuary. That's their safe space. The only people allowed there are their current team, which at that point is like a family. Arozarena is not part of that family anymore. That's just how it is. That's how it's always been.
What about when a guy like Justin Turner comes back to the Dodgers? He comes back to Dodger Stadium.
He gets a round of applause.
No, they do a state. They put together a montage on the screen.
That's fine. That's called respect. They're respecting the guy. They're giving him his due, his applause, whatever. But still, you're trying to beat that guy. So he's on the other team now. That's just how it is, man. I don't know. So it's rubbing some big leaguers the wrong way, some old school fans the wrong way. What says you, Fox Sports Radio Nation? Think about it. If it's going to be happening in baseball, it will trickle down into other sports, and that's the story. We don't need to harp on it. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. I think everybody's wrong.
I think you could want to whoop someone's ass and still be their friend. I really do. I mean,
oh, really? Do you like the fact that Mike Tyson is having tickle fights with Jake Paul, or do you want Mike Tyson to be smacking Jake Paul in the face at the press conference? Which one feels better to you as a guy paying money to watch these guys play and fight?
That's a fight. I get what you're saying.
No, it's a game. It's a sport. It's winning and losing. They're competing against each other. Isn't that what we've built up in our minds? Isn't that why our hearts are on the line? Is that why you're putting money on these teams?
Steve, was this you walking into Sirius?
I don't even really work here.
I do. I'm on every night.
Oh,
Turbo
yeah.
41.
Yeah, playing divorced dad rock.
That's right. But according to Rich, I don't. But I am. I work there. So anyway.